Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's session. My name is Gugu Mugwana. I am an IBM administrator at Weaving Code, and I'm thrilled to have each and every one of you to join us today for our resume as well as LinkedIn review workshop. This session is all about empowering you to build a strong personal brand and set up yourself for success in the professional world, especially so early in the year, because this is the time where people are always looking for like new jobs and new opportunities. But there's a specific brand that you are supposed to be showing those people, and we are actually here to help you get started with that, right? And we'll offer you resources that will help you throughout the whole journey, and as well as we're gonna be here also, and there's a little competition um, just to help boost you as well. So, just to give you the agenda for today, this is what we're going to be going through. So, I'm just going to have a few important announcements to do, right? And then from there, we'll then have a deep dive into what actually brought us here today. I will reveal during the workshop what exactly the competition is. And hopefully you guys will participate in that. So, and then we'll go into the importance of personal branding, what it is, why it's important, and a few pointers in there. We'll have a LinkedIn optimization. Just introduce you to what LinkedIn is and how you can optimize your LinkedIn. If you already have one, how you can make it stand out from every other what's this profile out there, right? And then we'll just give you a few CV tips and tricks, as well as just a real time way where we'll show you how you can actually create a modern CV, right? Depending on what you'll be actually applying for. So we're just gonna walk you through how you can create from banners to CVs, what to put, what not to put as well, right? And then we'll have an interactive Q&A where I'll allow each and every one of you to either unmute or type your questions in the chat, so that will help you answer any of the other questions that you may have during the session, right? But feel free to jot it in the chats throughout the session. We will then revisit it as soon as there's time to do so, right? So let's get started. So for the important announcements, usually what we do to just see the type of people that have joined us and to just keep track of who is here with us in the chats, posted by Nicola, is something labeled as mark as complete. So essentially what we're saying here is please click on that link if you do have a skills build profile. Yay. All you need to do is just mark it as complete. If you do not have a skills build profile, feel free to create one. So essentially what's going to happen here is we're going to introduce you to something called IBM skills build, and there's going to be a learning plan for you there that is part of the competition, but also part of what will help you to build a good resume, CV, or a good LinkedIn as well. So you can actually learn there, as well as actually you can get a certificate, right, of completion to actually say that you have for this, right? You say you have you came and you have attended a session where you were trying to optimize your LinkedIn and your resume. But even when you do some of the learning plans, you can get such certifications which are IBM certified, right? So, and the nice thing is that this also helps you with helping you stand out, because you can then post these on your social media platforms, your LinkedIn, most importantly. But anyway, just to showcase that you are actually doing something on the side and you are skilling up yourself, right? So feel free to do that now. Click on the link, create a profile if you don't have one. If you do, just go mark this as incomplete. And also, the nice thing is that you can always go back, because the recording of this session will be posted right there, right, on that specific link that we are about that we have shared with you, right? Cool. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just dive into it. So The reason why we're here, as we said, it's a new year. We want to try new things. We want to explore new opportunities, get new jobs. And that is where personal branding comes into play. So, what is personal branding, right? So, my definition of personal branding is it is your personal brand of how you represent yourself professionally, right? Whether it being online or offline, right? So, we want to see what are you up to professionally, what are you interested in professionally, what are you working on professionally, how are you upskilling yourself professionally. And usually what happens is recruiters lately really do ask for your LinkedIn profile, because that profile is where they can actually learn more about you in a professional sense, right? So Facebook, your Twitters, and your Instagrams are not as professional, but LinkedIn is there for your professional work. Hence, that's why it's very important for you to be posting all that you're doing, whether it's attending workshops, whether it's anything that you're doing in school, if you're in school, anything you're doing at work, if you're in working, because those skills at a later stage do amount to something. But why is it important? So our personal brand is essential for our personal reputation, right? Think of it as your online and offline first impression, right? So meaning that as much as I won't have a conversation with you as yet, but from your LinkedIn or going through your LinkedIn, I can learn a lot about you in terms of what you might be interested in and what you're working on, right? So building a strong brand is not just about getting noticed by employers, it's about showcasing your values, expertise, authenticity, as well as your goals, your visions, your future as well, right? So that is why it's important. People can actually learn a lot about you without even having to meet you in a professional sense, right? So the benefit of this is if you have a good personal brand, whether it being offline or online, it will increase the visibility to your employers and your recruiters. So, meaning that you tend to stand out more over a lot of other profiles that they might be getting. Builds trust and credibility in your field, meaning that if you are someone who, for example, who's in the tech space and is always posting themselves coding or attending tech events or upskilling such attending such workshops or any technical workshops for that matter, it just builds trust that if you come to me and you tell me you're a software engineer, I can't say no, you're not, because you have a track record on your social media platform that is saying, okay, this person is actually in the tech space, right? And then it positions you as an expert or go-to person in your industry, right? Meaning that with the things that you might put on your LinkedIn, the specific things, like for example, if it's someone in the tech space, I'll make more examples being someone in the tech space because that's the space that I'm more familiar of. So like go-to person as if they think, okay, we need some people in the tech space and they search certain keywords. If you're always interacting with different people and you're networking and all of those other things, your profile will pop up, right? If they're searching certain keywords on LinkedIn for tech, if you get what I mean. So you need to be able to build a brand that really relates to who you are. Don't try and lie in your personal branding because it will bite you later, right? So try to be as authentic, be yourself, but be professional in that sense. Cool. Then moving on, we're gonna just touch on there's different ways that you can build a professional profile, right? But LinkedIn is the biggest one, right? So we're gonna be talking about boosting your LinkedIn profile, right? And how you can actually do that. So if you don't know what LinkedIn is or why it's important, LinkedIn is your online business card, right? So literally it'd have your name, your surname, your picture, what you have done for the past 3 years, what you're gonna do in the past 3 years. depending on whatever you put on your LinkedIn profile, but also who you're interacting with. What are you saying on there? You know what I mean? Your network, as they call it, is all on there. It is a powerful tool for networking, job hunting, right? You can apply for jobs within LinkedIn, and you can actually even use your LinkedIn profile as a CV, believe it or not, right? So if you have created your LinkedIn profile, there is an option for you to do a CV there, which is on the learning plan that we'll share on later, right? And establish your expertise as well, right? You can showcase anything and everything that you might be working on or have worked on. It is a professional profile photo, and a professional profile photo and engaging headlines are the first impression, so make them count. So when we come in there, we want to see a picture of yourself, right? But this is not just any random picture that you might take on an everyday. This needs to be a very professional picture, right? Meaning a picture of you wearing like how you would if you were going to a business meeting, right? Professional background stains, whether a clear white background or a nice professional background. I think I might have to show you guys an example later, but essentially I'll just walk you through the few of the key points, right, in crafting a good LinkedIn overview. So as I said, profile picture, use a high quality, right, professional photo. So if you don't have a high quality professional photo, what you can do is you can actually go and just pay for one. Dress up nice in your suit. Just go to, there are people around who take photography photos, right, and just have a session, pay that 30 rand, um, and use that in all the where they'll ever require a professional photo, right? It will be worth it, trust me. And then a good headline. A headline is certain keywords where you like want to highlight keywords that help explain who you are. So if you're in the software space, you'll be like tech junkie. People are creative actually. So software engineer, usually people put their qualification. So you'll be like certified, whatever career field that you might be certified in, as well as maybe your um, value proposition, aspiring, um, I don't know, senior developer, aspiring whatever that is there. So it's just a job title, just showcase your expertise and your value proposition, right? And then a summary section is where you tell your story in a compelling way. Compelling meaning that you need to tell your story in a way that you sell yourself, right? People usually put things there that are irrelevant, right? So make it seem like it's a bio that if you had 30 minutes with someone who's supposed to um, employ you and they say, tell me about yourself, in that 30, even 30 minutes a lot, 30 seconds, right? You need to be able to hit all the right points in there. So essentially, that's what happens, right? So you go, um, this is what you're into, this is where you graduated, this is the qualifications you have, this is where you want to see yourself and all of those. So that is the summary section about yourself. Don't tell us that you eat ice cream for lunch, dinner, that you, I don't know, hike on the weekend. You can add it there at the end just to make it a lighter note, but don't make it about that throughout, right? This is supposed to be something that when a recruiter sees it, they're like, okay, yes, this person, from this 2 3 paragraphs that I've read, I think is a good fit, right, for this certain position that we're looking for. So that's what your summary section is all about, compelling way, right? And then you then have a section where you add your experiences and your skills. So your experiences meaning where you've actually worked, where you went to school, how many years you've worked there, and what did you do there, right? That is important because those skills can be transferred to your next role that you might be looking for. right? If you were a teller, so working with money, one of the other things, working with people, and another thing, and maybe later on, maybe you want to be working at a call center. Working with people might be one of the things they go like, okay, since she's been working with people this side as a teller, that might transfer good on this other side, because they then understand that you might have the certain skills to be able to handle customers, whether a difficult customer or just generally a normal customer. So that's where you write out all the skills that you've gained throughout your work experience, throughout any experience that you've ever had, your skills, any hackathon that you might have attended, webinars that you might have attended, right? And things that you've learned there, right? And then lastly, the biggest one is engagement. So engagement is important because on our side, we can actually see who you're engaging with and what exactly are you saying in those engagements. So engagements being certain posts that you post, as I said, the certification that I showed you earlier that you might get on IBM Skills Build, which will show you how to do so. But that's an engagement to actually say, okay, this person is attending workshops. Okay, so they are a learner at heart. So there are people who want to keep upskilling themselves in some sort of way, right? So at least then that is something that they see. Or the comments on other people's posts on other businesses that you're interacting with also show up on the side. So just making friends in a professional in a professional setting is what is engagement there. That's how you build your network. So that on a later stage, usually what I do with my LinkedIn is for such webinars, it would help in that we would be looking for speakers, right? And a way that I look for speakers is I go to my network, the people that I follow on LinkedIn, and I actually then ask them to actually say, hey, would you like to be a speaker at our workshop and stuff like that? And usually they don't even hesitate to say no, because they already know that with all the things that I've been posting and all the things that I've been doing, they're like, okay, this is insightful, this is something I might want to engage in. So that is what it helps you with. So make it count when it comes to those certain things, right? Share insights and network actively, right? You need to be active on your LinkedIn profile. Try to be active. Try to repost something if you don't have a post. Try commenting congratulations if one of your friends actually got a job and posted about it. Okay. So that is what boosting your LinkedIn profile looks like. We will show you how to create a banner on a later stage. A banner being, they have one on Facebook and Twitter as well. Just something that would highlight who you are and what you're doing as a picture, in a simple form. That's how I would say it is. So so then moving on, I'm just going to hand it over to Nicola, who will just introduce you to something called IBM Skills Build. I know we have touched on it. So essentially, through this learning plan, that is where you will get more certification in terms of upskilling yourself, and certifications that you can actually post on your LinkedIn, right, that we've spoken about. And then from there, I'll then expose what our competition is. Nicola, I'm
Hi
handing it
guys,
over to
can you
you.
hear me? Thank you so much, Gugu. So today we are here to show you IBM Skills Build, as it is a free educational platform. So the reason why We Think Code has partnered up with it as an NGO is because we get to make learning plans for you guys, and we want you to build a beautiful brand, which I've just posted in the chat if you would like to go on with me. Yeah, you can get certifications and badges you can show on your LinkedIn's and on all actually social media, because I also thought that Instagram's a great one for you guys if you do graphic design, architecture, we don't know what you're doing at the moment, or even like animations, if you want to try that out. Instagram's also a good one to go show off. And we do personalized learning paths. So that's why please sign up with one of our links that we share so we can keep track. And I'm also going to share an email so we know what's going on. Yeah, we can also show the soft skills of how to work as in a team, and how to talk to people. It's quite a scary place in the office. As you can see, Gugu, Zubir, and I have a great communication. Thank goodness we all have the same personality of software developers. And then let me just go through a learning plan and through IBM Skills Build. I'm going to do a walkthrough. Let me just share my screen. Google, do I have rights to do this?
Yes, you are my co-host. you have you have the right to do.
Can everyone see my screen? I'm going to go to the top. So this is the learning plan we are going to go through. And here we have interview. The first section is interview readiness. It's just to share your strengths. And when this question is, tell me about yourself, you don't stutter. I still have to work on that. And how to behave and what to ask after the interview, just to keep that keep you in their minds. And then here's the LinkedIn. Google went through so many great facts, but here's a quick just learning curve of what to do. Your photo must be a great white background. Or I saw someone the other day put Table Mountain, and I was like, oh, that's smart. So just make sure your face is in it. And with LinkedIn, Google through and going through all the facts. Be there in the community. Show that you are a positive role model. And that's why IBM Skills World has certificates, which I'll show you, to go show that, hey, I am ambitious and I am doing this. The next part is, if you are in the software development world, guys, GitHub, it's very important. And this just shows you just to have like a few games or calculator and just show that you are active and you're not just sitting at home twiddling your thumbs. Social media is LinkedIn and Instagram, and just being present there, but also making sure that you don't put your personal things there. So make a separate one for work, because recruiters do go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. So make it separate. Be like, hey, I think Zubair is going to show you that you can make a separate email and the banners and that. You go to your social medias. You don't go to your Facebook where they can see that you've partied all weekend or your December happened. And lastly, this one's quite a tricky one. I haven't done it yet, is the ACO professional interview. It has questions that are, it's to test how you're going to answer it and how the recruiter will answer it. So also give that a shot. And at the top here, your skills build. I will go, can everyone see this part of my screen? Gugu?
Yes, we're following as well.
So here are my learning hours, and this is what I'm busy doing at the moment. I was actually multitasking during the talk, but when you click here, you can go see your digital credentials. So these are my digital credentials. This is what I can share on my LinkedIn, and this just shows recruiters that you are willing to learn. And I've done data classification. If you go to actions, you can go view it on Creditly. Did it just also go show this one? Can you see my Creditly account?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I'm getting good at this. Here we show that here, this is where you see it, and it's IBM Skills World. It tells you what you did, and you can download it at the bottom. Oh, we do have to go into it. Oh, learn more. And yeah, this is where they can go and they can learn what I did and everything. So this is a great way to show your recruiters and on your LinkedIn that you are ready to work, and make it pretty. Don't make it boring. Like I remember mine being boring, and in We Think Code, they do teach you make everything pretty, colorful, say exactly what professional things you like to do. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Nicola. So, as promised, right? One of the competitions that we currently running is we are gonna send you a link where you're gonna post your certification of completion for the learning plan that Nicola has sent to you. And the first 5 people to actually post that, we will then gladly review your LinkedIn profile strictly for ourselves to actually show you pointers that you can improve on and what you can improve on and how you can improve on that, right? So if you're interested, do click on that link that Nicola shared. Do that learning plan, and as soon as you're done, upload your certification of completion, and then we will review your profile. So that is the campaign that we are running this month. We will share the end date as to when the final date to submit is. So if you're interested, do do that, right? So I want to share with you just an example of how the LinkedIn post or the LinkedIn profile looks like. Just an example. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Sorry. Hi, sorry.
Yes, I'm listening.
Oh, did you guys say that we should share it on LinkedIn?
You can share it on LinkedIn and tag within code, but there's a specific link that we will share with you on the email,
Oh,
right? Be on the lookout on your emails, right, where you can upload your certification. Then the first 5 people we will review your LinkedIn profile for you, right? Just to give you a detailed one. Yes, Nicola.
Yes, I'd like to add, we'll send out a Google form where you can put your LinkedIn link and your completion and etc. But we can find your email was probably on IBM Skills World to make sure you completed it. And we'll also put the competition in an email with the video so you guys can come look at it again.
So what I've actually shared with you guys, can you see my screen? You need to see a LinkedIn profile. Cool. So this is just an example of how you can actually a good LinkedIn profile looks like. You can see by the picture here that this person has a clear background, and we can see her face, right? And you can see that she is wearing very professionally. Her hair is very professional. She's looking good and professional, right? And then this here is the section that I spoke about, that you can put keywords that can actually help you stand out in terms of your interest and what you're up to. So this person has put in her awards that she's gotten, as well as what she is actually busy with right now, right? And then her contact infos as well. And then when you scroll down, this is, can you see how short and straight to the point this is? So this is the about section, this is the summary where you write about yourself and your bio essentially. So the 30 minutes, the 30 seconds that I was speaking about, if you were to get stuck with your recruiter in a elevator, you had 30 seconds until they reach the floor that they're going to. So this is where you can actually see this person, yeah, you're, I can see that she's in the tech space as well. Then the special featured. So this is just a fast stretch to make it stand up more, but these are just some of the posts that she has posted about herself throughout. And the featured is the ones that you can actually pin on your profile, the ones that you want people to actually see first, right? So your accomplishments, being at a what's this, a talk show as well, being at a breakfast show, meaning FM radio, um, and then some of the other posts and activities. The activities meaning the people that she's interacting with, so things that she's retweeted and reposted on LinkedIn. So you see that we can actually see the people that she's communicating with, or the people in her workspace or network, if I can put it like that. Cool. And then this is the experience section where you write your what you have done before or what you currently are doing, and this is how it will look like on this side. You can see that she has added all her experiences, all of them, because all of them played all of them played a part, right? For some weird reason, everything started zooming in. Cool. And then education, where they've studied. And this is the important part, the certification. So when you're done with your learning plan, as I've mentioned on IBM, okay, can you guys see my screen? Because somebody said, please share the screen. Yes, so my screen is shared. So if you have problems, you can just jump off and jump on again. And all have volunteering skills as well as awards that she's ever gotten. So this is just an example of how a good LinkedIn profile looks like, right? So now that we've touched on LinkedIn and you know where you can actually improve on it, and with the competition happening, we're just gonna jump on real quickly on resume. So resume being your CV, right? So tips and tricks. So with resumes, it's very important to get it right? And the reason for that is that um the reason why it's important is because your CV speaks for you before you can actually speak for yourself, right? And if your CV doesn't have the qualities that are supposed to be mentioned, or the good points that can highlight certain things about yourself, you might be misrepresented, and you might actually even miss an opportunity that you actually qualified for, but because you just misrepresented by your CV, you might miss out on it. And there's just details that you need to be very attentive of when it comes to your resume, right? That's why we'll teach you how to do a modern one, um, a modern CV, and how to add certain things on there, right? But also go through the learning plan. The learning plan is more detailed um is more detailed on the specific things that I've said, right? It teaches you more in detail what you need to do and what to add and what not to add. But I'll just highlight some of the key points that is there. So, depending on the job that you want to work for every job opportunity that you're going to apply for, you need to customize each CV for each job application to match the job description, right? You need to customize each CV to each job that you're applying for. Reason for that is not every job is looking for the same qualities. You might have them all, but it doesn't mean they all of them are just a one size fit all, right? So you need to tailor your resume. If you are applying for a software engineering role, your CV needs to just be a software engineering role CV. If you then applying for web development, you need to actually then tailor it to web development, because there's certain skills and certain points that they look for to actually just match you to that job description, right? Secondly, you need to highlight your achievements, right? That are in line with what you are applying for, right? You can use measurable results, right? You can use percentages. I think it helps people to get a good insight as to, okay, this is 50% good at this programming language, or I am 10%. I've worked with um 10% with customers in my last job, meaning 90% of your other job went to administrative roles. So you just need to highlight key achievements as well. Thirdly, you need to keep it clean. Use clear formatting, bullet points for readability, right? Stay away from a lot of, what can I call this? Paragraphs, right? The only paragraph you need to have on your CV is your bio or a summary of yourself. Other than that, that is the only paragraph you need to have. Everything else needs to be in bullet points, just to, good, that is readable as well, using the right font, using the right size. The formatting needs to be the same throughout, not everything in bold, because that will look weird. So those are specific things that you need to look for, and in that you need to avoid common mistakes, right? So like a typo, writing engineer wrong, right? um Writing, some have capital letters at the wrong places, and too much text where everything is squashed together, you can't even read. So all of those things need to be formatted clearly, and we will show you how to do it, right? And then lastly, you need to use specific keywords, right, to highlight a big paragraph that you're going to be saying, right? So, for example, if you're going to be speaking about different programming languages, rather say programming languages and then list them out, rather than having to write a whole paragraph then mentioning them somewhere within the paragraph. No one is gonna have time to to read all of that. Cool. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna hand it over to Zube, who will introduce you to a platform where you can actually do a CV and there's templates in there, and he'll speak more about that. Zube.
Hi, thank you, Google. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Before I go on, I see there was a question in the chat asking about the Udemy certificate, if it's a if it's a qualification or if it's a skill improvement. So for the Udemy certificates, you'll put that under skill improvements. So the only time you'll get like a qualification is if you actually go to an institution and you go and study, right? Let's see, what is it now? No, you don't need to put the institution. You can just put the certificate there that you got from Udemy. I hope that answered your question. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Can you just confirm with me if you can see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. So for those of you that already have a LinkedIn profile, you can actually get a resume from LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn will generate a resume for you. If you have all of your information in there, then you can quickly download something from there if you need something very urgently, right? But if you do have time and you want something that you can actually customize yourself, you can use Canva, right? So this is actually a website that I use quite a few times to actually create CVs for myself and for like friends and family that I know. Um, the easiest way to do it. So, firstly, when you go onto Canva, right? If you don't have a account or something with them, you can just sign up, and then it's free of charge, right? So you don't need to pay anything. There is also a pro version that you can get. So that one you'll actually have to pay for, and there's some extra features that you can get on there as well. But I'm going to show you like a few ways that you can basically like bypass that step. Um, yeah, so once you do sign up or sign in, you'll end up on a page that looks like this, right? So you'll have on the left-hand side a home, projects that you've had before, templates, brand, apps, and then Dreamlab, right? So on Canva, there is also a AI image generator. So if you're creating like other things besides a resume, there's like AI that you can use to even do things like that, right? So to get started, if you go to the templates on the left-hand side, right? Over here, you'll be able to see like all the different templates that you can use, and you can even search at the top. You can just say resume, and there should be a bunch of different formats that you can follow, right? So, just to go through quickly one of the things. So this is one of the templates that you can use, right? So if you look at the picture, right, like Gugu's been saying, professional pictures is the best that you can put on there, right? So for the professional picture, you just need to have like a good background. So if you can, a white background, right? And then make sure that the lighting is good, or you can even have, like Nicholas said, like table mountain in the background, or you can have like something just simple, right? So it needs to have like a uniform background, so nothing that has like too many things happening, so that the focus is more on yourself, right? And then also your name, and making sure that your name is the correct size, making sure that it's easily readable, right? So for those of you that don't actually have any work experience, or you don't have a job title, right? What you can do for that is, if you are a student somewhere, right, you can actually put in, like I said before, like an aspiring something, right? So if you're aspiring to be a software developer or a software engineer or web developer, right, you can put over here aspiring software developer, or whichever role that you're actually studying for. And then with the work experience, if you do have previous work experience, you will have to put in the year that you were there. So like try to be very specific. So if you have like a specific month that you started, you can put that in. And then what was your job title and where it was. And then in bullet points, just to keep it short as well, you can put in what you've done at that workplace as well. So that when you do send out your resume, it's easier for people to see what you did, right? So they can have a better understanding of what you did there and the people that you interacted with. And they can also see from that the skills that you have, right? And then you can also put in like the different skills that you have. So if you have like communication skills, if you you worked with something that required you to be like on the ball all the time, right? So were you a critical thinker, like all of those things. And then you can also put in the references. So like one of the questions asked, is the references important? If you do have previous work experience, right? This is important because it helps your future employer actually get in contact with the workplace to actually get more information about you. So they can do like a performance check on you to see were you a good employer, were you always slacking off, did you actually go above and beyond, right? So putting that details in actually helps them out also a lot. Um, so just some tricks, right, that I wanted to show you guys. So, like I said before, you can purchase a pro version of Canva, right? So this gives you some elements and texts, right, that isn't available to everybody that has the free version. But there is some ways that you can actually go around that. So if I can just find maybe a pro thing, let's see, logos. So if you see over here, right, on some of the pictures, you will see there's like a logo, something that says Pro, right? These logos usually comes with like a watermark or something like that where you won't be able to use it all the time. And then also, if you do use this Pro elements on your design, you won't be able to download it. But there is a way that you can do it where you can still use this and actually get the template that you're actually going for, right? So if we see maybe a crown, right? So if you look at this, I'm just going to quickly delete this thing just to show you guys. So with this, right, if you look closely at it, you'll see that there's a Canva watermark on this, right? But if you zoom out on it and you go like a bit further out, you'll see that you won't be able to see the watermark that much. So if you are using pro things on your resume or any of the other projects that you are using, an easy way to work through this is to actually just take a screenshot of it, right? So instead of downloading it, so if you go to the share over here, you can actually download it, right? But because there's a pro thing on here and I don't have pro, you won't be able to download this resume. But if you want to still use the pro elements or text or any of those things, right? You can just take a screenshot of it and then you'll have it, right? So there are ways that you can work around it, and then sometimes you won't be able to always use it. So you need to also be very specific of which elements you use, right? Um, I don't know if there's any questions. Are you guys still with me?
Um, no. How does an ATS friendly resume look like? Okay, we will answer that towards the end of the session. I think you can continue because there's no other questions.
Okay, cool. Um, so just going a little bit back to the templates, right? With the pro version also, if I can just quickly show you. Um, not templates, sorry. So if you're looking at specific templates, right? You'll see the ones that doesn't have the pro feature on it. It won't have that symbol. So these are the ones, if you do have a free version, you'll be able to use this. But one thing that you can actually do to get like more inspiration or ideas for your one, you can actually just like click on any of the pro ones, and then you can get some ideas about your one from these pictures, right? So when you do click on any of the templates, you will see that it says use this template. So if it says this, right, this means that it's a pro version, and you'll only be able to access this if you pay for pro. The free ones, it will actually say customize this template, and then these ones are free, so you can do whatever you want with them, right? But like I said, if you want some ideas or inspiration from like a pro version that looks nice, you see, oh, this one actually looks really good, right? But it's a pro version. What you can do, you can go to any other one, right? And you can actually make it look the same like that. So I'll just leave this one like that. So I'll use this one just quickly as like a demonstration, right? So you maybe like the color of this one, so the background, you want to make your one look like this, right? So you can't use this one because it's pro, but you want to have something that is similar to that. What you can do, you can actually just go and then customize your own one. So you can go in, find the color, you can even go over here and then get like a custom color, right? So you can like move it around, and then you can make it look quite similar to that, right? So you can customize it to your liking, and then you will be able to basically get like a pro version like this, right? And then customize it so that it looks like a pro version, but it's free. um, I think that is it from my side. I think I'll just go over to see if there's any questions.
So there are just a few questions, right? So they are asking if okay, they're asking if Canva is ATS. So ATS is applicant tracking system friendly, meaning that in terms of specific
Yeah.
formatting, not having specific formatting issues and stuff like that. Um, my answer is yes and no. It just depends on what exactly you want to add on your profile, right? Because Canva allows a lot of things like um, graphics, pictures, columns, and stuff like that, right? But it's not essentially created for that exactly, if I'm making sense. It's not created strictly to make what's this CVs, right? You can do a whole lot other things for that, right? So it's a yes and no question. It just depends on what exactly you want to put on your CV. How does an ATS friendly resume look like? We will have to find an example. Um, Let me see if I can find an example for that. But if you have any more questions, please unmute. Feel free to unmute or pop them down in your chats. Is there anything else you'd like to?
Just
Oh, yes,
one
Zube.
thing I wanted to add for the one question where they like talking about the images and tables and those things, right? Um, if you are creating a CV, try to keep it as simple as possible, right? So if you have like tables and a lot of images and those things, right? It's the employer won't really look at it, right? So the more information you have, the how do I say, the less likely it is for them to actually read through all of it. So an employer basically just looks at what skills you have, right? And if they actually see, okay, you have all of the skills, then they'll actually go into your bio and look at who you are as a person. So most of the employers, they don't look at everything on your resume because there are like hundreds that they look at, right? So if you are a student at Within Code, you are actually advised to pull the resume off from LinkedIn. So that gives most of the information, and it's easy to read. And well, basically all of the information is like on one page, right? So for those of you that want to create it on Canva, what you can do, um, first create like a LinkedIn profile if you don't have one already, right? And then you can basically just pull that resume off from there and then use that as a baseline for you to actually create it on Canva. So again, for those of you that are a student at Rethink Code, when you do submit your CV, it's preferred that you submit your LinkedIn resume, one that you've built on LinkedIn. And then if you are applying for other jobs outside of Rethink Code, you can create it on on Canva. And yeah.
Thank you, Zube. So somebody asked for links to ATS friendly CVs. I just mentioned 3 that I know. So it's zesty.com. I think Zesty is the one that actually shows up recommended most of the time. And then there's resume.io. That one is AI generated as well, but apparently it is ATS friendly. And then there's invaccv .com. So you can try out those ones as well. The reason why we went with Canva is because of the templates that are there. As I said, um, if your CV is just simple enough and you don't want to worry about restructuring certain things and how it needs to look like or the specific colors you want to use, then Canva is easier to actually get you started and have a CV in like less than an hour. You know what I mean? But if you want an ATS one friendly, these are the ones that you can actually look into going to. There's another question that says, I can't really find an example right now because I did not prepare for such a question, but I'll try and find an example for an ATS friendly CV. And then we have a question from and type saying, she's saying, if I want to change roles that are different to my current role, should I remove that experience because it doesn't align with the role I currently want to apply for?
No, you should leave it there. So if you leave it there, right, you can basically leverage that information to enhance your skill set. So if, for instance, I'll just make an example of myself. So I have some experience in mechanical engineering, right? And because I have that, I left that on my CV because I can actually leverage that and make myself stand out more to the employer. Because if I have that skills, right, I can show the employer, look, I have a different way of thinking about things because in maybe mechanical engineering, there is like problem solving that you need to do. You need like a specific structure to find a specific problem. So by using that information, you can show the employer, look, um, you did software engineering, but along with that, right, you have some other skills that can basically make you better than another person. So if you leave that experience there, you can leverage that and make yourself stand a bit further out, right? Like, for instance, if you are within code student, there's about 500 students that is going to an employer with the same skills, right? So if you have an experience in something else, you can use that to make yourself stand out and above some of the other students, right? So leaving it there will basically help you out.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Yes, hi. You can ask
Uh,
your
I,
question.
I have a question. So, like, I want to know, like, in terms of like crafting a resume for like a senior position. Like, for instance, I'll make an example with myself. So, I work in a tech space. I'm a developer. So, if I apply for another like a senior role, you find like in a job description they will want like many requirements, many technologies that you have done. So part of that, like I think that the resume should have like project that you have done, and part of that project you have to like describe and have a description like this project was doing this and this and all. So I want to know like you talked about like keeping your resume short. So I want to know like how do you go about in terms of that?
So when we mean short, right, we don't mean that you need to now keep it at one page, because it can't be more than that. Obviously, if you're going to a senior role, obviously most probably have more experience and stuff like that. So, but what we meant is try to keep your things in bullet points. So, for example, for each project that you would like to showcase on there, right? Firstly, on Canva, actually, you can be able to create it as such that a specific thing can be a link where they can actually go to that specific project, right? Especially if you're not going to be printing it out and sending it as a soft copy, but also every time that you're going to be describe it in bullet points. You could say, okay, this is the specific things that I'd want to highlight about the specific project, no? As well as your job experiences. Put it in such a manner that it doesn't need to be a paragraph where somebody's sitting and reading through the thing, but they can just quickly scan through it, right? Like you can have like a keyword and then explain that specific keyword as in like problem. This was the problem. This was what it's trying to solve. This was the outcome. These are some of the things that are the blockers, and then you can move on to the next thing. It can be 2 pages, it can be 3 pages, but what we're saying is that add relevant information. Keep it bullet point precise. Keep it short in terms of bullet points, bullet points, bullet points. Am I making sense? Yes, no?
Yes,
Did I
yes, yes,
answer your question?
yes, you are.
Yeah. And then I wanted to actually go back into Ntabi saying, right, and add on to what Zube was saying. You do not have to remove it, but try to put points there that will help you with the job that you're trying to apply for. So if the job that you're trying to apply for is somewhere where maybe you might be working with customers, whereas you were working with customers in the previous job, add it there. That's a skill that will help you in the future job that you're going to go into, or the specific things that you did there that might help you in the, those are the ones that you need to highlight in that work experience. That's what they meant when you say leverage it. Yeah. Yes, Bridget, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello everyone. Thank you for a very informative session. The question that I'm about to ask is not really related to CV, but it is related to applications because I'm currently applying, and there's something that I'm struggling with. I recently got a certification from Explore AI Academy. It's a data science certification, but I have honors in science, which is not related to the data science. So, and I've never worked in that space. And I'm currently looking for a job. But what I'm seeing in most posts is like they're looking for, they'll say a BSc in computer science, maybe for a data science role, a degree or honors or masters in that role. But I know for sure that there are people who have been through boot camps and have gotten jobs through that. And I just wanted advice on how to work around that. Like, yeah, because it's been hard. I'm not sure, do I apply if it says they looking for an honors degree in data science or computer science while I just went through a boot camp? And if I do apply, how do I make myself noticeable? Um, um, yeah, competition is quite tight, and I'm sure there are people with those exact requirements. Um, yeah, so how do I stand up out in those situations? Thank you.
Thank you. I think in the tech space, a lot of people have applied for jobs that, as much as they're not really on paper qualified for, but have the right qualities for that, right? So what you need to do is, as I said, tailor make your CV in such a way that in such a way that it hits all the points that are required in the job description, right? For example, if they're saying you need to have a specific amount of experience in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but you've actually worked on that and you think you know the from background to where it headed to even more other things in that sense. Just tailor make it in such a way that all those points are cleared and they stand out. And usually in tech, what you need to know is that if they write BSc in that specific field or relevant to the field, right? They just mean that there are certain qualifications that they know that they can't really list all of them out, but because you have that qualification, they can actually look at your CV, right? Like for example, my MCETA certificate at Within Code really qualifies me to be a software engineer. But if they say in computer science and all of those other things are relevant, I can actually apply with my certification. I really can. As I just need to point out the fact that I have done this, I have done that, I have done such a project that will display that I know this concept that you're asking for or such things in such a way. So do not be just apply anyway. If you look at the job description and it has all those things and you're like, I know this from the back of my head, apply anyway. Apply anyway with your qualification that you have. And then when it comes to interview, then you can actually show them that I know this. I know this. I hope I've answered your question, Bridget. Zube, do you have anything else to add on to that? Or I can move on to the next question.
Nothing else from my side.
I saw somebody else had their hand up.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that was me.
yeah.
Yeah, all that you just
Keep-
said is, yeah, I was also gonna say that, yeah, there's also that relevant qualification. So yes, especially if you
Yeah.
have the skills, if you can do it. Yeah, my advice is apply. And you spoke about maybe, let's say, you have Git, you have projects. Another thing, maybe, let's say, I know people who are in tech space, you can create your own, let's say, website. And then you can just showcase some of the projects that you have done. So that will always be like relevant to the job that you want to do. Because sometimes people, let's say, who have qualifications, they think that they can beat people with skills, so you just be a bit complacent. So, but people I know, yeah, like Within Code is very good, guys. Yeah, I don't wanna like yeah, but then you can just showcase that I have done 1, 2, and 3, like the projects, your Git, and then you just put all those links there. Believe you me, personally, just to go, of course, a bit. I was in a hackathon, yeah, with Lesaka Technologies, like in December. And some of my friends actually, like when they submitted the applications and all, they actually called them like, hey, my guy, I see that you have, you're saying that you have done this project, you've sent a link, come and explain to us this project. And they actually got those jobs. So it's not necessarily people who went to like traditional universities, So they went to those boot camps. And so yeah, I'm saying that just also to give you courage or strength to apply. So it actually does help. Thank you.
Moral of the story, or what you can take from this, is apply anyway. Apply anyway. If you have the skills, just apply anyway, right? Um, the qualifications and all of those things, they will find out on a later stage. And which something that he actually touched on, a website is actually a good way to showcase yourself. And on the resume, you can just put the link there so they can just find the website, right? Um, we're a bit over time, so I'm just gonna give ourselves, let me see, just 2 more minutes, and then we can actually wrap up. So we can have lunch for those who need to have lunch, or actually just go back to our normal day. If the job requires ABC and you're currently working on ABC, how do you highlight that? If the job requires ABC and you're currently working on ABC, you can highlight what on ABC that you're currently working on, right? Or as I said, the metrics that you can actually put there, that if they're looking for someone who's a Python developer and you are currently working on Python, you can highlight all the other things that you've actually learned in Python so far, right? You can highlight that you've done this, you can work with this, you can work with that, and that's how far you are into that ABC that you're working on. I don't know if I'm making sense, Helen. So yeah, you can highlight in that ABC what you've done in that ABC so far and what you've covered so far. Cool. Awesome. I think I'm just gonna have one more other thing to highlight, and then from there on we can call it a day. So just a reminder, guys, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Cool. We have a competition that is running, right? So if you are somebody, let me just remove this quickly. So if you are somebody who has a LinkedIn profile, but you're not even sure if you're standing out to recruiters as yet, this is your competition. This is your time to actually know how your LinkedIn profile looks and on somebody's eyes. So we currently have a competition running. All that is required from you is we're going to send you an email soon after the session with the Build Your Brand Learning Plan link, as well as a link to submit your certification of completion. And then what you're required to do is just complete that learning plan and then upload that certification on that link that we will share with you, right? Oh, what if you'd like, you can just post it on your social media platform, tag within code or hashtag skills build. And the first 5 people who actually finish to do that, we will have a session with you or where we will review your LinkedIn profile tailored to you specifically, and we'll show you tips and tricks on how you can improve it, what you can work on, as well as how it can look great to the recruiter's eyes, right? And we'll also share when this composition will end. So this is your time to actually work on that if you want to improve your LinkedIn profile, right? Hopefully we have that in check, and then we will also you will find the recording to this session on what you marked as complete earlier. Are we happy with that? Can I get a thumbs up on that one? Cool. I'm seeing thumbs up. Okay. And I guess if we don't have any more questions, this comes to the end of our session. I know it would be nice for us to stay longer, but sadly, we have come to the end of our session. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any more other questions regarding anything actually that we've covered or any of our upcoming social media events, feel free to email us here at the bottom at ibm skillsbuild at withincode.coza. Zube, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
There was one question in the chat. I don't know if we went through it or if we missed it. This person just asked like if we could also please review someone's resume. So along with the
Oh,
LinkedIn
yes.
review, if we do the resume.
We might as well. So we'll just double up on that. When you're done, submit the link to we'll send the submission form, and then we'll be able to put your resume and the link to the LinkedIn profile, and we can do both. Why not? Right? So the competition is on now. The sooner you do it, the better. For you, we'll do the resume as well. I don't mind. Cool. Not any more questions, right? Thank you, everybody, for coming, and stay in touch with us on our social media platform at Reading Code. We have these sessions every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just be on the lookout for those, and hopefully we'll get in touch soon again, or I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining, and cheers. So the recording of this, you can actually find it on the Marcus Complete, but we will send out the link to where you can actually get this session. Just be on the lookout on your emails. Bye, everyone. Cool.